Here's part 3 of dimensional analysis. So we had a couple wrinkles as we go. Hopefully you're good at metric to metric and metric to English at this point. We're going to add cubes, squares, or powers, exponents, and we're also going to do fractions. So that's what you'll learn in this video. The first one here, you have centimeters cubed to meters cubed. Now, I'm not going to go back to the pink sheet and reference it too much. I'm going to assume that you know how to access those numbers. So to start with, this is a prefix, this is a base, so we can actually do this going directly from centimeters to meters. 35 cm cubed. And now we go like this. We bring our unit. We're going to bring centimeters down though, only in meters. I'm going to show you the easy way, or the hard way first, then the easy way to do this. Now, some students like to do it this way. You bring centimeters down, and you can't cube this yet because this sheet does not tell us the cube values. This is for everything to the first power. When you cube a dimension, you also have to cube the conversion factor. So we can't just stick in, let's see, your prefix gets the 1, centi equals 0.01. We can't just stick this in and be done because centi doesn't cancel, or centimeters doesn't cancel, excuse me, struggling to talk here. Centimeters doesn't cancel centimeters cubed, but I also can't just put a cubed here and say everything's fine and dandy. It doesn't work that way. So what I'm stuck doing instead is saying, okay, well, 1 centimeter doesn't cancel 3 of them, so I've got to repeat this 2 more times. Centimeter down, meter goes up. Sorry, my M is pretty bad there. And I just repeat 1, 1, 0.01, 0.01. Now 3 centimeters on bottom cancels out all 3 on top, and I'm also left with 1, 2, 3 meters on top, which will give me meters cubed, which is awesome because that's what I want. Now what I do is I just take this number, multiply it by this, times this, times this. And if you do that, it ends up getting you, let me see here, what I have is 3.5 times 10 to the negative 5. Or you can convert that if you want to a normal number. Now I'm going to do this a little bit differently here because all of this is just 0.01 meters divided by 1 centimeters cubed, right? This entire thing is the same thing multiplied 3 times together, which is exactly this. So what I'm going to teach you instead is this method, and you can do either one. If you're not comfortable with the second way, it tends to save you a little bit of writing, don't do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring centimeters down. Still just centimeters, meters on top. I'm going to fill in my conversion. Prefix gets the 1, 0.01 goes on top because that's what centi equals. Now this is the trick that I like to do. This is centimeters cubed. To cancel that out, I need to cube this. But you're like, wait, I can't just do that. That's what you just told me not to do. But here's the trick. If I cube any one of these things in here, I have to cube every single one of them. You can't just cube one and call it good. You have to cube every one of them. So if I cube the centimeters, I have to cube this number, and the other unit too. Everything gets cubed. Everything gets cubed. Just like here, if I put a cube here, that means everything is cubed. Not just one number, not just one unit. Every single number and unit inside this parentheses is cubed. Now this is fine. I can cancel out centimeters cubed. I'm still left with meters cubed, which is awesome. And now what you do in your calculator is do 35 times this cubed, 0.01 cubed. And 1 cubed is still, who cares? You can divide by 1,000,000 ones and it won't make a difference. So you'll still get the same answer. So go back and rewatch both those steps if you got a little confused, or bring questions to class. But these can get a little tricky. Once you practice them once or twice, you should be fine. And again, just to make sure you got this down, I want you to do this one, pause the video, and then tune back in a second. Okay, hopefully you did this. We'll start 125 inches squared now. Okay, I'm going to bring the unit down, but I'm not going to square it yet. And I can go straight from inches to centimeters. If I look at my sheet, where is it? Inches, 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. So 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. Now I'm going to do it the quick way. Because this is squared, this also has to be squared. But if I square anything in this step, the entire step has to be squared as well. You can't just square one thing and call it good. So now my inches squared cancels. I'm left with centimeters squared, cm squared. So you take 125 times 2.54 squared. Couple things that students make mistakes on here in these types of problems. They'll just square the units and call it good. They forget to square the numbers. The other mistake they make is that they square everything, but then when they type it in their calculator, they forget that this little 2 is there. So make sure when you're doing these problems that you're taking the time to go through and double check all that. Now what I get for an answer is 806 centimeters squared. Make sure you round to the right number of sig figs. In this case, it is 3. Okay, we're going to move on to another type of example, fractions. I'm not going to do this one with you. Do it on your own. It's just years to seconds. Look up your numbers on the bottom of the pink sheet. Do that on your own. These are a little bit trickier. So 403 is what I'm going to start with. Let's wait on that unit. Now, remember on the top, that's like multiplying. On the bottom, it's like dividing. So think of each of these as a fraction. Now, notice that this is a fraction. So it's 403 times meters divided by seconds. So 403 times meters divided by seconds. So normally this bottom box stays empty. It's just there. But for this time, because we have a fraction, the bottom of the fraction goes on the bottom of the ladder. Okay, now I have to convert meters to centimeters and seconds to hours. I'm going to just do the meters to centimeters first. So I take this unit, bring it down. I'm going to centimeters. Prefix gets the 1, base gets the number. Okay, we're done. That's easy. If I was just converting from meters to centimeters, I'd be done. But I also have to go seconds to hours now. Now here's where things get a little different, but should be within reason. The seconds is on bottom. To get it to cancel, I need to put it on top. Now pretend like this step doesn't exist. Just bring the seconds to the next empty box. If you don't know how many seconds are in an hour, you can go to minutes first. However, it is on your pink sheet. There's 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. So we're actually good there. So the meters cancels out, and the seconds actually cancels out, and I'm left with centimeters divided by hours. So if I type this into my calculator, again, I divide this and then multiply by 3,600. According to my paper here, I should have 1.45. And if you get something different and you swear you're right, please tell me in class, and then I will redo these videos because I want to make sure that I get them right. If I made a mistake while calculating these before making the videos, let me know. Don't forget your units, centimeters over hours. And then sig figs, we got 3. That should be your answer. We'll get some practice on those. I don't actually have any more in the notes, but I do have one more example. This is about as tough as it gets. You got a square and a fraction. So take a second if you want to give it a shot, and I will be doing it right now. So we've got miles to centimeters. Let's write out that road map. I know how to go from miles to feet, feet to inches, inches to centimeters. I know those from the pink sheet. Days to hours, hours to seconds. So I'm going to do this one, the top first, that's 3 steps, and the bottom's 2 more, so this is going to be a total of 5 steps. So I take 234 miles squared, set this up, days goes on bottom. Now it's 5 steps, let's just set this up. It's 2 vertical lines, 3, 4, 5. So it gets a little bit long here. Let's just start with the top. Miles on top. I'm going miles to feet. So I'm just following my road map. It's 5,280 feet, 1 mile. Feet go on bottom. Then you might notice I'm missing the squares here. I'm just going to go do that later. Feet to inches. But this is, don't forget to do that. Hopefully I don't here. There's 12 inches in 1 foot, then inches to centimeters. There's 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. So let's square all those before we forget. Before we do the bottom half here, miles needs to be squared, so I square everything in this step. Now feet are squared, so I square feet here, but that means I have to square everything else. If I square 1, I have to square all 4. Inches, 1, there we go, all those are squared. So we're good to go on that. Now days, I have to bring that up to here. I'm going to go hours. Don't forget, I want to bring hours up. I'm not bringing days down because days already are canceled. Hours up, seconds down. There's 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. There are 24 hours in 1 day. So where are we at here? Everything here is squared, so you're going to do 234 times this squared, times 12 squared, times 2.54 squared, divided by 24, divided by 3,600, and that all, I did not calculate that ahead of time. I got to get better at this. 234 times 5280 squared times 12 squared times 2.54 squared. I'm just going to hit equals to see what that is. Divided by 24 equals divided by 3,600 equals and something does not look right. Okay, never mind. We got a big exponent, so we're fine. 701455511.32 is what I get in my calculator. 7, 1, that's a 4 there. Okay, now I have 3 sig figs, so let's chunk this out right there. 701, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can put that in if we'd like. Now, miles squared cancels, feet squares cancels, inches squared cancels. We're left with centimeters squared. Days cancels, hours cancels. So we've got centimeters squared over seconds. And again, if your units don't come out to this, you did something wrong. That's why this is so powerful, is because it allows you to organize the numbers, make sure the units come out, and if they don't, you better go back and double check your answer. And then again, make sure it's the right number of sig figs. We'll practice these in class. Again, I quick typed this into my calculator and didn't double check, so call me out if I got this wrong.